Hello everyone, it's Scavenge here today, and I want to talk about Marathon. So it looks like an extraction shooter basically. So you have a team of three, and you go in, you find loot, and you get out. But you have to contend with robots that fight you. Looks like environmental hazards maybe, and other players that are searching for the same loot as you. So you have to balance what you want to take in with you in order to get more out. Because remember, you can lose you know, you lose all your equipment if you get killed within the game. But yeah, that's basically the synopsis. I am struggling to find the interesting part in this, mainly because it's just a shooter. You go in, there's a few faction quests that you can get. It's like apparently, by the sound of it, it was like scanning sort of the environment and stuff, and then getting that and getting out, or something like that. But basically, it just doesn't sound very interesting. I think it might be lacking a lot. I don't think there's been much development beyond the gameplay. So it's mainly just like shooting and stuff. The classes are like heroes, so they all have an individual sort of effect that they do. So there's one dude that has a shield and he's kind of the medic support person. There's one that can scan the environment for enemies. There's another one that can cloak and use smoke grenades and stuff like that. And apparently you can get sort of what do you call them, upgrades and stuff in the field to improve that character's sort of thing. But it just seems very loosey goosey. That's kind of just it. Like there is some of these factions that you do quests for and stuff. You got to get credits, and and it's just there's just not much here. Now they said there's going to be story cinematics and stuff, and yeah, that's great. It just to me, cinematics just like I don't particularly care about them. Watching the opening cinematic for Marathon with like the trailer basically, it didn't really give me any sort of oh wow mystery kind of thing. It was weird. To be honest, it gave off more weird vibes than anything. So I was just like, okay, I don't particularly care about these cast and characters here. They just seem replaceable. So how can you have any suspense or anything like that, or an actual story kind of thing? So it's just like, okay, it's a bit lame. There's nothing here that's interesting. Unfortunately, it needs more time to cook basically and figure out how to do these things and stuff. And a prop, it just I'm not seeing the hook that will get people in kind of thing. I think it's part of me is really annoyed because it's probably going to be very heavily monetized. It's going to be skins and stuff. I hope there's no like pay to win things, because if that is the game's going to be really harshly critiqued and stuff like that. There doesn't seem like there's going to be many maps, unless these maps are like huge. And I don't know, like what we've seen so far is akin to just this swampy area full of buildings, and that was it. So apparently, I think there's going to be four maps with a few more to be released later and stuff like that. So it's just like okay, and then I think there's like four heroes with two more to be revealed later on, after launch or something like that. It's just at launch, sorry. It just seems very, I don't know. It's not going to entertain people very much if there's only four maps. Because if you load it in, or you're getting, and it's just going to become very repetitive very quickly. And I think eventually it'll become very stale and repetitive. And I think they need to think of something else. Maybe, yeah, you should really have like a story to do with the marathon kind of kind of story kind of thing. Because I watched a few videos and stuff, and what I've seen is like, oh, it's I don't know if it's anything like that. Yeah, it's in the universe, but I don't think there's much. I'm not really too sure what I'm seeing here. But yeah, it's just it's not catching me. Although, like, I'm pretty sure I used to play Apex Legends and stuff like that, and it's kind of like a high-paced shoot 'em up kind of thing. And I saw some things like that. A lot of people are comparing it to Concord, to be honest, calling it Concord 2. And I understand in certain ways, but I think it's missing the little things that Concord had that made it like repellent for people, like characters as design and stuff. Whereas in here, it's more or less they're just like 3D printed robots that have people's minds, like a human mind or something like that. which is a little bit more interesting. I do like my robots and stuff like that, but it's as for so it kind of gets rid of the what do you call it? The or the fear of sort of death with the characters and stuff. So it's just like, yeah, you got the gameplay will be separated from the cinematics. So it's just like, well, you can't take away people's, what do you call them, like heroes and stuff within the cinematic. Or people probably be like, "Oh, I don't see the point of playing them, kind of thing, as the story's over. So it's, I think it needs a little bit more work. It needs more sort of something more to it. It needs a story mode. It needs something to do. I just think it might fail. and I'm personally not going to buy this from what I've seen. I'm not being convinced yet at all. So it's a shame because there's stuff here that to make it very interesting and cool if they were going to focus. And I'm not going to lie, I think the economy, the world is more wanting little small experiences that are pretty cool. Like a single player kind of game or like a couch co-op or a little multiplayer over the top with a cool story, cool interactions, cool gameplay and stuff, um, but without the heavily monetized kind of things. Because I think, as I said, the world can't handle that kind of thing. You can't get enough money from that because I don't think people are going to be doing that. Whilst if you can make a really cool experience and people will be like, "Look, this is really cool. You got to get it," and then I think you're more winning in that way rather than just draining people's wallets without really delivering much. So it's not really good. I don't think it's a very good thing. Um, yeah, it needs more time. I think I'm not going to write it off completely, but at the same time, I don't want to investigate. I don't want to get any more invested or interested in the game because I'm not seeing anything that's new or interesting. It just seems like a reskin of things. I suppose that's where people are sort of like seeing sort of Concord thing. Like you've got to pay for the game, and then there's a battle pass in the game, and there's microtransactions in the game that you can buy and stuff like that. And it just seems like we got to buy the battle pass in order to get the other things and stuff. So people are like, I'm not really. I think live service games might eventually die off. Well, I think that's good live service ones will stick around. Bad ones will die pretty quickly, like Concord did. So I think, yeah, they've got to be very careful because audiences are aware of this now. There's kind of like this, money grabbing kind of thing, greedy people, and it makes people not want to play it really or get invested because they're going to drain a lot of money but not get much in return. And the gameplay needs to be banging, Whereas I'm seeing it now, it just seems like you get killed really quickly and you like don't even know you're dead, and you're just like great, and it's so fast paced. So um, yeah, I think people get very frustrated and then not want to play it because of that. So yeah, right, that's more or less my take on it. I do think it needs time to sort of a little bit more time to be fully developed. I think September 23rd, with what I've seen, is way too soon to be releasing this game with what we've been basically given. So it seems like there's no story mode or anything. So it's like, yeah, I think you're heading for a a burnout, a crash out, really. So you need to, I think, delay it. I think it might get delayed. Um, I'm really worried about it, and it still apparently needs immense balancing and stuff like that. So it's just like, okay, so people might have had fun right now because they were like caning everyone as a certain person. Then when it comes out, it's going to be like, oh, it doesn't do the same thing anymore. So yeah, it's not really, it's. I don't think it's gonna work, but I think it could work with just a little bit more development, a little bit more testing and stuff like that. Probably going into 2026, probably March 2026, probably would be best. But yeah, who knows? But yeah, it's just like because you're coming out probably before GTA and stuff like that, so it's gonna be played a little bit, and then it probably just fall off the face of the planet when that comes out. And kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, that's all from me. They're my thoughts that it just needs more time, it needs more just more. I'm not seeing enough to hook me in. And I've talked to other people and stuff and they're sort of like, yeah, it's flashy and kind of thing, but I don't think there's not much meat here to get really invested in, unfortunately. So yeah. Anyway, that's all from me. I just want to I'm not like hating the game. I'm not like get it out of here. It's not gonna I do want people to succeed in life, and the developers, if they're really passionate about things, I want them to go far. That's why I'm like, you need a little bit more time to think it through. Anyway, that's just me. Anyway, so I'll see you in the next one. Please take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Bye.